Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Paramananda Madhavam. I know I am the seer. So with this basic premise, the discovery of the seer is being undertaken. The seer can be known if the seer is distinguished, differentiated from the seen. The world of objects is a seen. The senses are the seer. The senses also become the seen. The mind is the seer. The mind also is a seen. Consciousness is the seer. Beyond consciousness, there is no seer. And therefore, when I say I am the seer, in truth, I am this ultimate seer. Because I am the seer and not the seen. Because I am the seer and not the seen, therefore, I am not the world of objects. I am not the senses. I am not the mind, but I am the seer, the consciousness. So through this Dṛg-Dṛśya-Viveka, differentiation of the seer and the seen, the actual seer is discovered. It's a discovery. What is the nature of the seer? This seer is nitya. This seer is ever there, of the same nature, uniform. The seer is one and the seer is uniform. The seer is homogeneous. The seer is of one nature. This seer is of one nature means what? It doesn't have the ups and downs of the seen. The seen has got a point of coming, arrival, a time of arrival, and a time of departure. So arrival time, departure time is there for the seen. But you are the seer in the platform. You see the arrival and the departure and you remain. Is it not? So you see the thought born. Are you born? No. You are watching the birth of the thought. You see the thought growing. Are you growing? No. You are the same. You watch the thought growing. And you see the thought also slowly going away, fading away. Have you faded away? No. You watch the thought fading away. And then the thought disappears. Have you disappeared? No. You have watched the thought disappear. And now there is no thought for just a moment of a moment of a moment. There is no thought. Are you not there? No, you are there. Now a fresh thought comes. Have you changed yourself for the fresh thought? No. You have remained the same. No deti. It's not born. Na astam yati. It does not disappear. Na vriddhim yati na kshayam yati. It neither has got an upsurge nor a downsurge. It neither has got a growth nor a decay. But it remains the same way. How do you know? Swayam vibhati. You just know it. It is inherent to consciousness because it is consciousness to be self-aware. It is only natural for the inert to be seen by something, but for consciousness to be consciousness, the only reason it is, for consciousness to be consciousness, the very fact it is consciousness is self-sufficient unto itself for it to be consciousness. Consciousness is self-sufficient for consciousness. Swayam vibhati. Because it is consciousness. This is not Swayam vibhati. This is inert. But consciousness, because it is consciousness and because it is not inert, it is conscious. And what is the beauty of this knowledge? The beauty of this knowledge is Swayam. Meaning, without objectifying itself, it is aware. And therefore, for this, there cannot be any example given. But this is most concrete than any example that can be given or should be given or may be given or could be provided. Why? Because this is our own self-experience. When self-experience is so loud and evident, you need not have something else to explain that. When you know somebody so well, what do you say? I know. I know. The other person glorifies. Oh, you're so great, so wonderful, so loving, so kind, so soft. You say, I know. What do you know? Exactly opposite of what you're told. What do you mean? Every day he comes and then we see him in our office. He's so... That's all there, perfectly okay. But that fellow whom you're saying is my husband. I know him. Why? You know. When you know, what explanation you require? All explanations are required when you are ignorant, right? Or examples are required when it is not clear, right? When you are you, what you want to know is you. And what is required to help you know you? You are you. Swayam vibhati. So that it is no deti, na astam, etc., etc., etc. How? And therefore, whenever you are hearing to Vedanta, what you are expected to do is like this. Why? Because they are telling about ourselves. I remember once I had to, the last camp of Guruji, I was giving some talks. Very interesting topics. Vedanta in, what was that? Vedanta in one verse. Then next session was Vedanta in half verse. Next session was Vedanta in 3 words. Then next was Vedanta is 1 word. Then Vedanta beyond words. Then Vedanta in 60 minutes. Something like that. Then Guruji was talking. And Guruji was telling, what is Vedanta? Suddenly, what is Vedanta? So I said, I kept quiet because all the definition of Vedanta you told. I said, yes. Shall I tell you what is Vedanta? I said, yes, Guruji, please tell. Vedanta is a mirror. Vedanta is a mirror where you see yourself. Swayam vibhati. Not only that, atha anyāni api bhāsayati. And because it is consciousness, it will do what consciousness is supposed to do. An artist will paint. A musician will all the while. Musician. A chatterbox will. Consciousness will be conscious. Ata anyāni api bhāsayati. And because it is consciousness, it doesn't require any assistance or help to be aware. Sadhanam vina. So this much we have seen. Now we move forward to the topic. Well, I am the seer. I am the pure consciousness. Perfect. All the rest is seen, very clear. But then when I say, I am happy, the experience, all these things is fine, but relate to the life. In life, what is our experience? I am happy, I am sad, I am so-so. We usually ask the other person, how are you? Actually, I regretted asking somebody, how are you one time. I asked the person, how are you? And he actually started telling how he is. When you ask somebody, how are you? What do you expect? I'm fine. Actually, the answer for the question, how are you, is not answering, I am fine, it seems. The answering is, how are you? How do you do? You're supposed to ask, it seems like this. That's what they say. I have no idea. Whenever they ask, how are you? I'm saying, I'm fine. But you should not stop with, I'm fine. How are you? Fine. How do you do? You have to ask again. That's okay. That's not the important point. Life is continuously, I am happy, I am sad, I am so-so. This movement is there always. And all this explanation, what you gave, seer, seen, how does it relate to this? When you say, I am the seer, then when you say, I am happy, happiness is a thought. So, I should be saying, I am watching happiness. I should never be saying, I am happy. So also, when you say, I am sad, sadness is a thought. Therefore, the expression of that should be, I am watching sadness. Never we should say, I am sad. But that's not what we are saying or feeling. We feel, I am happy, I am sad. Who is this I? In other words, who is the I who is going through the ups and downs of life? In other words, who is the samsari? Next question. Now the problem with this question, the problem is not with the question, the difficulty in answering is like this. I cannot be the person who is happy or person who is sad because I am the witness, sakshi, of happiness and sadness. So it cannot be I. But then I cannot say mind is happy, mind is sad. Why? Because the experience is I am happy and not mind is happy. Actually, mind is inert, is it not? Mind cannot have the experience of happiness. Mind may be the conduit of happiness and sorrow, but mind cannot be the experiencer of happiness and sorrow. Because experiencer has to be a conscious entity. Yes? See, there is water in this glass. But this glass cannot say, I am the drinker of water. Why? The glass is not a conscious entity. A conscious entity like me can drink the water and say, I am the drinker. Happiness and sadness can be there in the mind. We don't object to it. All thoughts are there in the mind. But the mind cannot claim for itself the experiencer of happiness and sadness. Who is the experiencer? Consciousness is the witness, not the sufferer or the enjoyer. Sakshi. Mind has got the experience, but it is not the experiencer. Can you see the difficulty of providing an answer? And therefore, who is the experiencer? This text, what we are studying, Drig Drishya Viveka or Vakya Sudha, has got a very beautiful thought flow and very logical. It's an amazing text that way. So now, let us go to handle this question. And what is the question? Who is the actual enjoyer, sufferer, experiencer? Who is the samsari? To give an answer to the question, rather than just saying, this is the experiencer, what the author does is that he builds the topic. Okay? Now, so therefore you have to be patient to get the answer. Yeah? But even though you have to be patient to get the answer, unless you understand whatever he is going to tell, the answer will not be evident for you, clear for you. Therefore, pay attention to the thought flow. Verse number 6.
cicchāyā veshato budau bhānam dhīs dvidhā sthitā ekāhankritir anyā syād antah-karana-rūpinī cicchāyā veshato budau bhānam dhīs dvidhā sthitā ekāhankritir anyā syād antah-karana-rūpinī.
Consciousness is there, mind is there. Mind is inert. Body is also inert. Of course, between the mind and the body, senses are there. Senses are also inert. Why we say they are inert? Because they are made up of inert substances. When we say inert, it is not to mean they don't function. Electricity functions. But that doesn't make it sentient. Sentience or sentience or conscious, whatever you say, awareness, whatever words we are using, when we say mind is aware, senses are aware. When you say that, yes, they are functioning in the area of knowledge. And even though they are functioning in the area of knowledge, inherently they are inert. They are inert, they are functioning in the area of knowledge, and functioning in the area of knowledge, they all become chota knowers. The ultimate knower, Sakshi. But then you have knowers at different levels. Small knowers who finally contribute to the final knowledge, who finally contribute to the experience that we have of knowing something. The question arises, how does the mind get the power to know if it is inherently inert because it is made up of inert objects. It is built up. The building blocks of the mind are all the elements which are inert. The 5 elements are inert. The earth, then what is the next one? Water, then fire, then air, then space. With this alone, the body, mind, senses, everything is built. The building blocks of the entire, this gross body, subtle body, are all nothing but these inert things. Is it not? We eat food. Food becomes body. Is the food inert or sentient? What you eat is the body. Or seeds or whatever it is. The food is inert. The food is inert. And this food also becomes the mind. Everything in fact. The blood, everything is from the elements only, right? Since everything is born from the elements, then naturally they should be inert. But you find the mind sentient. How? Now that is first being answered. Cicchāyā āveshatah budau bhānam. Budau in that mind stuff. Buddhi does not necessarily mean intellect or mind. It doesn't mean memory or it doesn't mean any of those. What in Vedanta we speak as antah-karana. It just means that mental stuff. Antah-karana. We all experience sentiency at the mind level, is it not? Mind is able to know. Mind is able to know means what? Mind is sentient. Mind is conscious. Now, where did this mind get that consciousness, ability to know? It is inert. That bhānam, that effulgence, that light, that ability to know, that sense of being conscious or aware at the mind level that we experience, all of us experience that. Where is it coming from? It is coming from the reflection of consciousness in the mind. And that reflection of consciousness in the mind makes us alive. What we call living. You see, those who we have studied Vedanta, we are not new to Vedanta, we know consciousness is all pervading. Even though consciousness is all pervading, why is there life here and there and here in all of you, but not life here and not life here? Why? The only difference between this and this is this. This has got mind, this does not have mind. So mind makes life. Mind enables life. Even though the cause of life is consciousness, without mind there cannot be life as we know, as we express, and as we say, as life, living being. Living being is not because of consciousness, because consciousness is everywhere. Living being is because of the presence of life. And how does that presence of life happen? That presence of life happens because of consciousness being available at the level of the mind. Many times people wonder, how can you say consciousness is there here? Because they are looking at consciousness as life. If you understand consciousness is existence, then you will not have this question, how can consciousness be here? Consciousness, existence is everywhere, but the expression of consciousness as life is not everywhere. So what causes the expression of life? Mind. And that mind we experience. And then we say that there is life here. And that mind we don't experience here. And therefore we say there is no life here. Presence or absence of life is not indicative of the presence or absence of consciousness or existence. All right. So in that mind, there is a reflection of consciousness. But Swamiji, what is this? Consciousness is unfair. Consciousness is getting reflected in the mind only. Why can't it get reflected here? If consciousness is everywhere, it should get reflected everywhere. Light is everywhere. Does it get reflected everywhere? Swamiji, light gets reflected everywhere. Okay, light gets reflected everywhere. No doubt. That is how we see the object. But in the mirror, the reflection of light is evident. Is it not? Is it not? Here also light is there. But I can't see my face here. Light is there. But I can't see my reflection here. But if it were a mirror, I would definitely see it. For the expression of consciousness as intelligence, capacity to know, ability to be aware, what is required is a subtle equipment, not just matter. It should be matter in its subtle form. A mirror is transparent. It is also anything, it is also like a rock only, is it not? It is silica. It is sand, silica, but it is a subtle form. It's a purified form. It's in a certain form, and therefore it is able to hold that reflection. The same way, everything is matter. Yes, but then mind is a different state of matter. That makes a difference. Solid, liquid, gas, different states of matter. But their properties are different. All of them are H2O. Is it not? Graphite, coal, graphite, diamond. All of them are carbon. But do you pay so much money to get a piece of coal? If any of the ladies here, your husband is going to present on your birthday a piece of coal, how would you like it? No. It's carbon only. But diamond is different. Even though it is matter, mind is different. In the language of Vedanta, we say mind is made up of tanmatras, subtle elements. So that subtle mind is able to hold that reflection. And when it holds the reflection, we say consciousness has become reflected in the mind. But you see, consciousness is all pervasive. Its presence is everywhere. But what the mind is able to do is that mind is able to hold the reflection of consciousness. Cicchāyā. Chāyā is reflection. Chāyā means shadow also, but it is not shadow here, it is reflection. Those who have studied some other Vedanta text will be cognizant of the word Chidabhasa. Right? Chit Abhasa. Chit Chāyā. Abhasa also means reflection or shadow. Chāyā also means reflection or shadow. Cicchāyā. Cicchāyā aveshataha, because of the reflection of consciousness, budau, in the buddhi, in the mental stuff, in the antah-karana, bhānam, an effulgence. The mind becomes enlivened. Consciousness essentially belongs to the witness. But now the mind also becomes conscious. So cicchāyā veshataha buddhau bhānam bhavati. There it's there. Bhavati, you have to understand there. And this mental stuff, buddhi or dhī, see the word dhī comes there next. This mental stuff, if you start looking at the nature of the mental stuff, this mental stuff or antah-karana, buddhi, dhī, antah-karana, dvidhā sthitā. Dvidhā, twofold. Dvidhā sthitā, twofold it appears. Sthitā manifests or presents itself. So consciousness is there, the reflection of consciousness in the mind. But now look at the mind. The mind is twofold. Look at the mind means what? Look at the antah-karana. Look at the mental stuff. The mental stuff is twofold. Dvidhā, twofold. Sthitā exists. It exists in a twofold fashion. If you look at your thoughts, you can divide the thoughts into two types. One is the thought of ownership, what you call it as I thought. Mind talks. Of course, mind talks to the mouth. But there is one thought which says, I talk. Now, there are the other thoughts also, for example. And so many thoughts are there in the mind. But then if you look at the thoughts, you can distinguish the thoughts into twofold. One is the kartru thought, the owner thought, the arrogating thought. I'm using many words. The owner thought, the doer thought, the arrogating thought, ownership thought, a thought which has no ownership. Anything which happens, there is one thought which says, I did it. I'm thinking, I'm eating, I'm sitting. Whatever is happening in this entire structure, there is one thought which keeps on saying, I did it, I. That's that kartru thought. And then the rest of the thoughts are instruments thought. Ekāhankritir. One thought is called as ahankāra. Ahankritir. Can you see that second line? Ekāhankritir. Syād. Anyā, the next type. Twofold is said, is it not? One is the I thought. And rest is what? Rest of the thoughts are karana-rūpinī. Karana-rūpinī means what? They are of the nature of instrument. You have an outer instrument. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, legs, hand. The jnanendriyas and the karmendriyas, the organs of action, the organs of knowledge, you have that external instruments. Now, there is a thought from inside which uses the external instrument and functions. The mind has got, now I see you, all of you. Right? I see all of you. Then I have all of you in my mind. Where do I see you? I see you in my mind only, is it not? No, Swamiji, you seeing me outside. That outside also I am seeing inside only. So, there is a knowledge of you, knowledge of any object in the inside. Right? So, the thought has gone through the eyes, seen all of you, captured you, and presents you to me. So, the thought which is using the senses as its instrument, antah-karana. Here, antah-karana refers to those thoughts. Usually, the word antah-karana we use for all thoughts. But here, what the author is trying to do is that the author is saying, look, the thoughts are twofold. One is the I thought, and rest of all the thoughts, this I thought is using them to function. Karana, it is using it as an instrument to function. So one is the I thought, another is the thoughts which function as an instrument for this I thought. Antah-karana-rūpinī. This thought is inside, therefore antah. Karana is twofold. One is the outer karana, outer instruments, another is the inner instruments, is it not? We are talking of the mind, therefore it is not the outer instrument, it is the inner instrument, antah. And how are these thoughts for, with respect to that I thought, how are these thoughts? They are instrument thoughts. Instrument for what? Instrument to know, instrument to feel, instrument to experience, instrument to think, instrument to recall, instrument to feel emotions, instrument to know knowledge, so many things. There's a desire, instrument to desire, instrument to feel angry, instrument to feel, etc. greedy, instrument to feel love, instrument to feel compassion, etc., etc., etc. And all these thoughts, love. The love is an emotion. So what is this thought doing? This thought is encapsulating that emotion. For whom? For this I thought. Anger is an emotion. This thought encapsulates that emotion and becomes an instrument for this I to feel angry, for this I to feel love, for this I to feel compassion. So instrument. All these thoughts, other thoughts become instrument thoughts. Instrument is handled by a person. And who is that person who is handling? The I thought is handling. But remember, none of this mental stuff can do if this consciousness were not to lend its presence by getting reflected. And that is why dvidhā, sthitā, the word sthitā is used. Sthitā means what? They exist and they function in the presence of this consciousness. So consciousness getting reflected in the mental stuff, invigorates the mental stuff. And this mental stuff is of twofold. One is the ahankāra-tādātmyād, the I thought. And the rest is what? If you know some Vedanta, you will say rest is what? Manas, buddhi, chitta. All of them becomes the karana. One is the karta, another is the karana. Do you understand these Sanskrit words? Karta is a doer. Karana, instrument. If somebody is the doer, he has to have an instrument to do, no? When you appoint somebody as manager or some designation, the person says, who are my assistants? Suppose one person is there and he is manager and he has no assistants. And what do you say? He is namesake manager. Some people they say, when you go to the mission center, no? Small center. So we ask, who is the committee here? One person comes, old man. Swamiji, I am the president. Yes, Swami, I am president also, and I am the sweeper here also. Everything he is doing. Isn't it? And you say, oh, so nice, so nice, so nice, so dedicated, etc. If there is a karta, there should be a karana. If I am the writer, I should have a pen to write. I should have a notebook to write. So one is the karta, ahankara. Rest of them is what? Instrument for that. So this is dvidhā sthitā. The mental stuff is twofold. ekāhankritir syād, anyā, antah-karana-rūpinī syād. That syād should go to both places. Ekāhankritir syād. I have to tell some Sanskrit also. You should excuse me. Brahmacharis are sitting and study. Okay? So sometimes we wonder, Swamiji, you should not tell all those things, Swami. Syād should go to both places. Ekāhankritir syād. Anyā, antah-karana-rūpinī syād. Okay? All right. Swamiji, can you tell in essence what has happened in this verse? In this verse, the mental stuff has become enlivened by consciousness. How is this consciousness? That consciousness gets reflected in the mental stuff, enlivening it. And what is the name of that consciousness which is getting reflected? Cicchāyā. Nice name, no? Looks also strong. Cicchāyā. Can you all say this word? Cicchāyā. What is cicchāyā? Chit plus chāyā. Chit is consciousness. Chāyā means reflection. Cicchāyā. Clear? Swamiji, very clear. What about the mental stuff? That is twofold. What are the twofold? Please tell me. Number one, kartrurupa. First you must tell that. What is it? Kartrurupa. Next is what? Karana-rūpa. Translate kartrurupa. The ahankāra. The I thought. And what is the second type? The second type is karana-rūpa. Instrument. So if you know the antah-karana fourfold, manas, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, one is ahankara and the rest of them come under the karana. Okay? Shall we move forward now? So one is a owner thought, another is a owned thought. So let's say in the experience, desire. Desire is experience. Then what is the owner thought saying? I am having desire. So I am the desirer. So when you say the desirer, you have to have an instrument to be the desirer. What is the instrument? Desire. So desire thought. So desire thought is the instrument thought. Desirer thought is the ahankritir. Perceiver is the ahankritir. Perception is the karana. One is karta, karana. So whenever you should say karta and karana. In these two you should say. I will be telling some examples. You must immediately tell karta, karana. Okay? Perceiver. You should say karta. Perception. Karana. Feeler. Feeling. Thinker. Thinking. Speaker. Speaking. Eater. Eating. Got it? One is karta, another is karana. Swamiji, very easy you told Swamiji. Swamiji, you should mix and say. Okay, I know you understand. In Gurudev's BMI chart, you will find PFT. This is what? Perceiver, feeler, thinker. So BMI, PFT, OET. And that object, emotions, that emotions and other objects, emotions and thoughts is what is called as karana. That and all, you start reflecting yourself. Okay? Now we move forward. All right, mind became sentient, good. But body also is sentient. How did body become sentient? Consciousness gets reflected in the mind. Mind becomes sentient. Senses also become sentient because senses are also subtle. But mind also is sentient. Body also is sentient. Why? When you touch the body, you know. So what makes the body sentient? Do you want to know? You want to know? Then you start getting ready to know few other things also. What is it? Let us read. Next verse.
chāyāhankārayor aikyam taptāyah pindavan matam ahankāra-tādātmyād dehash cetanatām agāt cāyāhankārayor aikyam taptāyah pindavan matam ahankāra-tādātmyād dehash cetanatām agāt.
Can you see if you can understand these words? Chāyā. What is chāyā here? You must say what word? Cicchāyā, you must tell me. He's using short form. Chāyā. Sometimes names also we can shorten, is it not? Huh? We all the while do it. Raman Kuti becomes Kuti. Maybe Chāyā, cicchāyā. And what is the next word? Look at that. Ahankāra. What is ahankāra? In the earlier verse, what was it said? Ahankriti, karta. So chāyā is there. So reflection of consciousness is there. Ahankāra is there. Two things. Actually, two things only, is it not? One is matter, ahankāra. One is thought. Another is what? Consciousness. Chāyā ahankārayor. That cicchāyā or chidabhasa, reflection of consciousness, and that ahankara, both of them, one is consciousness, totally different level. Another is what? Another is matter, ahankara. Both of them, chāyā, ahankārayor, aikyam. Aikyam means they become one. They are different, but they are one now. And that is why you cannot distinguish the I-ness and the thoughtness in the ahankara. When you say, I thought, yes, you are saying, I thought. But I is pure consciousness, is it not? And the consciousness coming at the level of the mind is I thought. Okay, I thought is at the level of the mind, but try to distinguish the I thought and the mind. The I-ness is actually a reflection of consciousness. Otherwise, how can mind say I? How can mind say I? Mind is thought. I am pure consciousness. But the I at the level of the mind, the I which has slipped to the level of the mind, that which says I thought, but try to distinguish the I-ness from that and the thoughtness from that, differentiate it. They have become inextricably united. I am very happy all of you are saying like this. That is how Vedanta should be studied. Vedanta should not be studied as something happening somewhere else. Like how you study physics, chemistry, botany, zoology and all. Huh? In the cell there is a nucleus. In the nucleus is mitochondria. In the mitochondria there is DNA. DNA has got adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine. Biology class. Double helix. We all study this objectively. You can't study it subjectively. And then probably they'll take you and show you in a microscope. Certain things they can show you. This is mitochondria. They focus, and then microscope you focus. And then you see a little bit. Can you see? Objective. Here what you should do? Subjective. Yes. The I-ness and the thoughtness of the I thought have inextricably come together and become one. Swamiji gave an example. Taptāyah pindavat matam. Can you see that next word? Taptāyah pindavat matam. Matam, considered. To give an example, it can be considered like what? Like the iron ball. Tapta is heated. Aya is iron. Pinda is ball. Ball or something like that. Like a red hot iron ball. This example is very famous and it is unbeatable, this example. Two things have come together. Fire and iron have come together. Iron is cold to touch, dark at sight. Fire is hot. Fire has no shape. Fire has no weight. Is it not? So the cool, dark now appears hot, bright. And the hot, the bright, or what do you call it, the shapeless and the weightless now appears to have a shape and a weight. And then you say red hot iron ball. Now distinguish the fire and the iron. I'm not sure we all must have seen a red hot iron ball. Have you anybody seen? Yeah, some of you have seen. Good. Yes, Swamiji, when we put something in fire, but sometimes, it is so surprising and so, hitting. Once I saw, the factory and all, they make this iron rods and all those things. When they come out, my God, it's fire. You don't see it as iron coming out. Fire. That whole thing, that huge one whole fire comes out. And then you have to tell yourself, no, this is iron. Puji Gurudev used to call this as the unholy wedlock of consciousness of the spirit and the matter. The unholy wedlock of the spirit and the matter. See the expressions. Chāyāhankārayor aikyam taptāyah pindavat matam. It is like the fire and the iron having come together and becoming one single solid experience. You can't differentiate them. You know they are different, but you can't experientially differentiate them. Yes, you can say reflection of consciousness, different. Mind, matter, different. Which mind we are talking of? We are talking of ahankāra. That mind has become twofold, is it not? One is ahankriti, ahankāra, another is rest, karana. That ahankāra, in that we are talking now, not the entire mind. In ahankara, what happens? The I-ness and the thoughtness have come together and has become one solid experience. Okay? Alright. No, but Swamiji, you said, how did the body become sentient? That you please tell. This is very nice, I loved it. But body, how does it become sentient? Ahankāra-tādātmyād. That ahankara is there, is it not? That ahankara. Which ahankara? Tadahankara. Tadahankara means what? That ahankara. Which ahankara? That ahankara in which consciousness has become inextricably one. That ahankara. That ahankara now is conscious. It is the I. That is the I at the level of the mind. That conscious I now at the level of the mind, what happens? Tadahankara-tādātmyād. Now tādātmya, identifying with that. Deha, body. Cetanatām. Can you see? Cetanatām. Sentient. Agāt. It has become. Consciousness pure, reflected in the mind. That reflection in the I thought, that I becomes a sentient I, because consciousness has got reflected in that. And now the body associated with this I thought. Tadahankara-tādātmyād, deha, the body. Cetanatām, sentiency, agāt, it has attained. The body has attained its sentiency because of its association with the ahankara. The mind has become sentient because of the association with consciousness. And in that specially, the I thought is a receptacle of that consciousness, in which you find the I-ness and the thoughtness becoming one. Now the body is associated with this mind. The body is associated with this I. See, the body is associated with the mind, no doubt. But the body is associated with this I. That is how we feel, I am the body. See the descent of I. You can't call this avatara of I. The word avatara means descent. It's a davatara of I. It's not the evolution of the I, it's a devolution of the I. That pure consciousness, witness, sakshi, drigeva, na tu drishyate, no deti, na astameti, etc., etc. Na vruddhim yati na kshayam. That I, at the level of the mind, cicchāyā, becomes the I thought. And associated the body, the I thought getting associated with the body. Of course, makes the body sentient. But poor I. Poor I. Poor thing. All right. Fire. In the fire, a basin. In the basin, water. The water becomes hot. Water becomes hot, why? Because it is in connection with the basin. But the basin becomes hot because it is in connection with the fire. Fire is consciousness. The basin is the I thought. Water is the body. In the example, not directly. Directly, the body does not have that capacity to hold the I. It doesn't have. Only mind, because of its subtle nature, has the capacity to hold the consciousness. Directly you put water on the fire, what will happen? In the example, fire goes off. Consciousness doesn't go off, okay? It doesn't work out. But the moment the water is held in the basin and the basin is heated up, the water becomes hot. Body cannot hold the consciousness. It cannot directly get the consciousness. It's inert. It's so inert. It can't get that reflection there. It can't get the I there. It can't get the I there. But how does it get the I? I, the mind holds. In the mind there is a I thought. That I thought and consciousness have become so inextricably one, and that I thought becomes radiant with consciousness. And the body is associated with the mind, and in the mind is the I thought. So the body is associated with the I thought, and the body becomes sentient, and the body borrows the I from the I thought. Okay? Chāyāhankārayor aikyam taptāyah pindavan matam ahankāra-tādātmyād dehash cetanatām agāt. So now you can see that this I thought, which is now being empowered with consciousness, is associated with the body. Do you think it is associated only with the body? No. It is associated, of course, it is associated with that reflection of consciousness. Number one association, prime association. That I thought, prime association with this is with the consciousness. Through what method? Through the reflection of consciousness. That's how it becomes I, is it not? The thought becomes I, only because of this. Otherwise, how can it become I? It will remain only thought. But it becomes I thought. So its association first with reflection of consciousness. Its association is also there with the body. But do you know one thing? This I thought is also associated with the pure consciousness, Sakshi. Three associations it has got. Association one with the reflection of consciousness. Association two with the body, we have seen now. Which? This I thought. And what is the third association? The third association is with consciousness. Swamiji, I cannot accept it. Association with reflection of consciousness, yes. Yes. Consciousness gets reflected in the I thought, yes. Association with the body, yes. But association with pure consciousness, that pure consciousness is a witness. It's totally distinct. It is different, disassociated. How can you say it is associated with consciousness? It is associated with consciousness because today you and I say that this I thought is the I. You and I ignorantly consider this ahankara as the self. This ahankara has hijacked me. This ahankara has taken all of us for a ride. Not happy ride. When you say taken somebody for a ride, does not mean happy ride. This ahankara has totally hijacked the pure self. And the ahankara says, I am the I. But I am not the I. I am Sakshi. So there is an ignorance-born arrogation. This ignorance-born arrogation. You understand the word arrogation? Arrogation? Claiming. This ignorance-born, this I thought tells, I am that I. No? I am conscious. I am the I. There's no other me, there's no other I than I. I am everything, it says. But it's not everything. It is just some fellow walking on the shadows of me. Can the shadow be me? Oh, shadow also, when you do like this, shadow also will do like this. When you do like this, shadow also will do like this. Whatever you do, shadow will do. But the shadow is not you. But this shadowy fellow, claims itself to be the self. This is its association with the self. This claiming, this arrogation, born out of ignorance. So, this ahankara has got three associations. Association with the reflection of consciousness. What do you call reflection of consciousness? Cicchāyā. Association with the body. What do you call? Deha. Association with the self. Of course, born out of ignorance. It can't be really connected to the self. But it claims itself to be the self. The ego claims itself to be the body also. Is it not? I am the body, it says. And when you say I am the body, what do you say? I am man, I am woman, you are saying, right? Nobody says I am body. We say I am body. Nobody says I am body. Anybody says I am body? But we say I am man, I am woman, I am fat, I am thin, I am stout, etc., etc. we say. That's all. I am the body. So there is a kind of association the ahankara has got with the body and a certain experiences because of that. And there is the association of this ahankara also with cicchāyā, the primary association. And then a mistaken association. So a primary association, cicchāyā. Then the association of the body, the secondary association. So the primary, the secondary, and the ignorant association. Primary, secondary, ignorant. The ahankara is primarily associated with the reflection of consciousness. Now the ahankara gets secondarily associated with the body. The ahankara also claims itself to be the self, which is not the fact, which is the most dangerous thing to happen. That's the worst thing which the ahankara, which we have done ignorantly. So what can be sorted out in these three associations? What should be sorted out? What cannot be sorted out? What should be? What cannot be? And what association normally, naturally disappears by itself. See the analysis. What can be sorted out? What cannot be sorted out? What automatically gets sorted out? See? Problems are also like this, na? I think there is a line, beautiful line also. God, give me the wisdom to accept what cannot be changed, to change what can be changed, and the wisdom to know the difference. It's so nice. So there is a problem which can't be sorted out. You have to accept it. Endure it. What can be sorted out? What must be sorted out? And then what automatically gets sorted out? We'll take this verse number 8 tomorrow. We have seen the introduction. But I think we can read the verse because we have seen the introduction. Ahankārasya tādātmyam
ahankārasya tādātmyam cicchāyā deha sakshibihi cicchāyā deha sakshibihi sahajam karmajam bhrantijanyam cha trividam kramat
Sahajam karmajam bhranti
sahajam karmajam bhranti
janyam cha trividham kramat
janyam cha trividam kramat ahankārasya tādātmyam cicchāyā deha sakshibihi sahajam karmajam bhranti janyam cha trividham kramat.
Bhranti janyam is one word. That's why, but for chanting purpose you can definitely break into two, but you must understand it is one word. Bhranti janyam is one samastha pada. Ready? What? Something to say Purnamada. No. What did we see today? Oh, Swamiji, too many things. No, nothing, not too many things. Consciousness gets reflected in the mind, enlivens the mind. Mind is twofold. One is the karta aspect of it, another is the karana aspect of it. The karta is called ahankāra or ahankritir. The karana aspect is the rest of everything. Manas, buddhi, chitta, anything, all the thoughts, everything. Two aspects. In this I thought, when consciousness gets reflected, as it gets reflected on the entire mind, in the I thought when consciousness gets reflected, it becomes inextricably associated. And that's how we have the experience I at the level of the thoughts. And this is like what? Like the red hot iron ball. Anyā-tādātmyād, mutual oneness. Itaretara-tādātmyād, mutual, itaretara, anyōnya, oneness. Itaretara, mutual. Tādātmya, oneness. Mutually one. They both become one. And this I thought, which has become inextricably one with that reflection of consciousness, is potent. Potent. Associating with the body gets now sentiency. And the body also has got the sense of the I. And thus, this ahankara has got three connections. Connection with the reflection of consciousness, connection with the body. But don't forget that most important stupid connection. And what is that? The connection with the pure self, the sakshi. But how can it be connected with the pure self? No, it is not actually connected. It is claiming to be connected. It's claiming, arrogating. The fellow has to be taught a lesson. We'll do it tomorrow. Okay. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.